Hey, how's it going? Hope all is great. Today we're going to talk about catastrophes that may happen in our lifetime. Let's begin. Financial collapse of the world economics is one lovely one. Financial collapse would mean depression, hyperinflation, and most likely mass unemployment. Our country experienced a severe financial catastrophe during the Great Depression, and of course in 2008 when many people lost their lovely homes. Families and people were displaced among many other things. 10 cities also popped up during this time frame, sprang up around urban areas. Many people were hanging on by a thread. Not literally a thread, but their life. Many others died as well. So what's that mean for the US? If the US economy were to collapse, it would happen overnight. Banks would no longer give you money. They would eventually close down and so forth. So make sure you have your gold bars. As far as food and supplies would go, it would run short since people couldn't buy with their cards as long as they didn't. As long as they had cash, that would be fantastic as well. In highly populated areas, more tents would pop up. People would go into pure survival mode. So hopefully you have a hunting knife. Eventually, for those who survive long enough, they would starve to death. These are traditional economics, of course, where people with trade services and items for other services. There's extreme examples of what life may occur if financial crisis were to happen. With food and water going among many things, also cryptocurrency would crash as well. Think for a moment what would happen or what you would do in this worst case scenario. Just pretend there is no more money. The stores are no longer stocked with food. Food costs would probably go up as well, since shortage. Creepy. Another thing that would happen is cyber hacking or computer viruses would go AHAM, or crazy like. Our entire world is run by computers these days. Everything, vehicles, our homes, even our phones. One good hack would destroy a city. There would also be no gas pumps, no power. Maybe also thinking, so what? Well, certain things like food and water are considered critical supplies. Without these, people would quickly die. A lot of people would realize how much trouble they're in as well, because of not being prepared. Things will get really bad real fast. Like within a day or two, people would struggle to survive. Did you know that without the transportation to bring food to stores, there would be more likely looting due to lack of supplies? Also, lack of law enforcement since technology would be mayhem. Because of these devastations, cyber hack on financial institutes could cause emails to shut down and also world banks and everything that you may know and love. Sorry, Roblox, you're gone. Another fun thing that may happen is the EMP or electronic magnetic pulse. EMPs are electromagnetic pulses that can be set off in Earth's atmosphere by either a powerful solar flare, thank you sun, and scientists have been monitoring these events for many decades now. Also, EMP could be caused from a terrorist, caused by nuclear explosion in the atmosphere. An EMP would immediately take us back to the dark ages. No more technology, to say the least. No more fun, no more insta. All that good stuff. Also, no automotive transportation, no food in stores, no water, no communication, and on and on. For our industrialized nation here in US, I'm sure all over as well, this would be devastating with far-reaching consequences that are truly unimaginable. Well, you could imagine it, just think about the 1300s and how fun that would be. A complete destruction of the power grid would annihilate all except life would go off grid. And if water isn't available via solar or manual pump, it will also affect people as well. It is quite a scary thing to think about. Even if an EMP knocked out a power grid, I read that it would probably be 3 to 6 months before everything turned back on or fixed. Civil conflict is another fun one. In the past 20 or more years, the US has become divided among racial, sexual, economic, ethics, and so forth. The US is more divided than ever before. Right now, people are so angry on all sides, thanks to political jazz and all that stuff. Take the Black Lives Movement, for example. which was a pretty big deal for months prior to the results of the last election? Or during the same time period, what about the hatred and abuse directed toward our law enforcement officers? In all these years, things have just gotten worse. What happened to the peaceful protests with MLK? I have heard that in 2015, there was even a military exercise called Jeddah Ham, 15 across multiple states that appeared to pit states against each other. So-called hostile states are those that believe in Constitution and tote guns and love their religion. Thank you, Jesus. I hope Jesus would help us, or any person in the spiritual realm would help us. Another fun one would be famine crop failure could be a real issue in the years coming. The way big AG and big agricultural government is treating the land is deplorable, to say the least. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides are running the earth like mayhem. Erosion is a real thing. Then there's an issue of GMO. It is my understanding that these seeds are not viable for long life of humans. Yummy. They have to be engineered every crop season. I read up into GMOs actually, and it's just tweaking of things, but over the consequences, it could be fatal. All of our aids are in one basket, with crops like soy, corn, and wheat. If any or all of these fail, famine could be possibly endless with many people in this day of age. Plus, with most of the economic power belonging to just one or two very large corporations, seed pesticides companies, we basically have a monopoly for our food in the hands of enormous corporate identities. It really doesn't matter too much at all. Hopefully farmers grow more and they don't suffer that much from ever-changing of the world's weather changing. Speaking of weather, cold summers may be upon us like the Ice Age. A cold summer is one which crops won't grow due to cold winters, cold winds, and storms that occur outside the winter season, so they wouldn't understand what to do. During times when plants and foods thrive, catastrophe would be minimal, to say the least, if tides had changed in our weather systems. It turns out it has happened in our recent past just 200 years ago. Most of the effects of this cold summer occurred in New England states, North America, and North European areas. People and animals starved for lack of food during these years. People and animals starved during this time frame with lack of food. It turns out scientists now know that several huge volcanic eruptions happen in various places around the world. These eruptions cause problems in the atmosphere. They also killed over 10,000 people in one event, caused the sun's rays to not reach Earth as normal because of the blocking of the clouds. Great Lakes and others would freeze as well. Drought is another fun one. We talked about famine just a second ago, and drought is closely related. As is one of the factors, these could cause a famine. But drought in itself would cause water in general not to be available. The tasty, delicious water that we see may not be drinkable, even if you have that fun little straw that was invented that filters it a little bit. Even now, most cities in America, such as Las Vegas, the authorities in that area are busy sucking the water out of the northern agricultural counties for their water supply. Once it's gone and done. No more love of water during those time frames. Another creepy thing that may occur is dirty bomb explosions. According to the U.S. Nuclear Regulation Commission, a dirty bomb is a type of RDD, or radical dispersive device, that is combined with conventional explosives. Therefore, this type of bomb combines radiation poisoning with your typical dynamite. Fun. Now you know. We are all aware of what a nuclear bomb explosion can do and what it is, so I wouldn't even go into much depth of what this may be, except I am about to right now. A dirty bomb would cause serious damage from the explosives, but far worse is the radioactive particles, which would be airborne. In localized areas, it would cause mass hysteria as well. Try to get away from it. Far-reaching the anxiety that may occur and the illnesses, and immersive burns as well. That sounds fun, doesn't it? Another thing that may happen is biological or chemical terrorist attacks. According to the CDC, the US is definitely vulnerable to these kinds of attacks. Terrorist incidents in the US and elsewhere involving bacterial pathogens, such as nerve gas, and a lethal plant toxin, has demonstrated the US is vulnerable to a biological and chemical threats as well as explosives. This type of attack is likely covert as well, silent but deadly, like a fart. So that would mean the reaction time would be too late. Therefore, this kind of attack is more difficult to watch out for. In elementary school, shelter in place was common. The teacher would have rushed around to slap a piece of masking tape on the outside of the door of the classroom to close out any pathogens that may come in, even the vents and so forth. Most teachers didn't have enough tape as well. So, in my opinion, the small particles would seep in no matter what. So gas masks would probably be needed during these timeframes. World War III is another huge possibility. World War III, based on everything written above, I'm sure there's a gist of what this would mean for our world. Of course, a lot of conflicts are going on with the US and China, and then Russia being them lovely selves and so forth. So what would be the cause of this? Many things, to say the least. And also, with all the technology nowadays, there could be more likely a cyber attack rather than full-out gun war. But who knows? We'll see. Hopefully not. Another thing is worldwide pandemic. We know this one from COVID, fun times, but there could be more pathogens that are way worse, that our body get used to and whatnot. Not only this, doctors in general overprescribing antibiotics, which the cost would be inflated and people couldn't get their prescription quick enough. Hopefully this isn't the case, but hopefully it's a free shot. A natural disaster is more than likely, such as in California, where there's a big landmass that may cause a huge earthquake, supposedly in San Francisco. And also Yellowstone as well is supposed to blow up, which is a super volcano. And if Yellowstone blows up, most of America will be gone as well, since it'll be like a million times stronger than a nuclear bomb. Lovely. A nuclear winter is another effect, possibly due to the World War III idea. A nuclear winter could be caused by an asteroid hitting the surface on Earth, potentially knocking out way more than anybody would assume as well. Not a lot of people have bunkers anymore. I guess you could dig a hole, but that's up to you. Either your grave or dig a hole to hide in. The horrific amounts of nuclear blast from either an asteroid or explosion would cover the atmosphere, and then the sun couldn't get in, making everything cold and chilly. So hopefully that wouldn't go like it may seem. Anyway, I hope this video brightened your day. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Have a great one. Bye.